If you have $800,000 saved or you're working toward it, and you're wondering whether that number is enough to walk away before 60, this video is for you. Because the honest answer is, it depends on four things most retirement calculators never even ask you about, and getting even one of them wrong could cost you $80,000, or your peace of mind. Carol is 57. Her husband Dennis is 59. Together, they have $812,000 in retirement savings, split between a 401k, a Roth IRA, and a small taxable brokerage account. They live on about $58,000 a year. They own their home. No car payments. They are, by most definitions, responsible. And Carol has been told, by a spreadsheet, by a podcast, by a well-meaning brother-in-law, that they're probably fine. But Carol doesn't feel fine. Because the number on the screen doesn't tell her what happens if Dennis has a health crisis at 62, or if the market drops 30% a year after she retires, or if Social Security changes. So let's actually look at what $800,000 can and cannot do before 60. Here's the first challenge with retiring before 60, the gap years. Social Security for most people doesn't start until 62 at the earliest, and the longer you wait, the more you get. Medicare doesn't begin until 65. That means Carol and Dennis face up to 5 to 8 years where every dollar of income comes entirely from their savings. Let's look at what $800,000 actually produces. At a 4% withdrawal rate, the standard rule of thumb, they get $32,000 per year from savings. Add a small part-time income or a pension, and it may work. But $32,000 alone does not cover $58,000 in annual expenses. That gap is the real retirement number, not the balance. The gap. Here is something most people never hear until it's too late. The order in which your investment returns arrive matters more than the average return itself. If Carol retires in a good year, markets up 15%, then 12%, then 10%, her $800,000 can grow even while she's spending from it. But if she retires in a year like 2000, or 2008, or 2022, and the market drops 25% in year one, while she's pulling $32,000 out to live, her account doesn't just go down by 25%. It goes down by 25% plus the withdrawal. And she has fewer dollars left to recover when the market eventually rises. Researchers call this sequence of returns risk, and it is the single most dangerous force for anyone retiring before 60 because you have more years for a bad sequence to compound against you. The good news. There are strategies to protect against it, and we're going to get to those. There is a second hidden threat that Carol's spreadsheet almost certainly missed. The Social Security tax torpedo. When Carol and Dennis eventually turn on Social Security, let's say at 65, the IRS does not automatically let you keep all of it tax-free. Depending on your combined income, up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can become taxable. Here's how the thresholds work. If Carol and Dennis have $32,000 in Social Security plus $32,000 in IRA withdrawals, their combined income is $64,000. That puts them squarely in the 85% taxable zone. The tax torpedo doesn't destroy a retirement, but it can quietly drain $4,000 to $8,000 a year that people never planned for. The fix is Roth conversions in the gap years. We'll explain how in a moment. Carol and Dennis sat down with a financial planner and built a three-part plan. First, they kept 2 years of living expenses in cash and short-term bonds, a buffer bucket. If the market drops in year 1 or year 2, they spend from the buffer. They don't touch the investments. They don't sell at a loss. They wait. Second, during the gap years, ages 57 to 65, they do Roth conversions. Small ones. Just enough each year to stay below the 22% tax bracket. This moves money from their taxable 401k into a Roth IRA. It reduces their future Social Security tax torpedo, and it creates tax-free income later. Third, they delay Social Security to age 67, not the maximum, but past 62. Each year of delay increases their monthly benefit by roughly 6 to 8%. That locked-in, inflation-adjusted income reduces the pressure on their savings for the rest of their lives. So is $800,000 enough to retire before 60? Here is the quiet, honest answer. Yes. If your annual expenses are $45,000 or below, you have low or no debt, you have a plan for health insurance in the gap years, and you are willing to be flexible in a bad market year. It becomes much harder if your expenses are above $55,000 a year, if you have no Roth accounts, if you plan to take Social Security at 62, or if you're carrying a mortgage or significant debt. $800,000 is not a magic number. It is a foundation. What you build on top of that foundation, the tax strategy, the withdrawal sequence, the insurance bridge, determines whether it's enough. Carol and Dennis retired. They are 58 and 60 now. They are not wealthy. They are strategic. And that, in retirement, is the same thing. Before you go, one question. If you had to write down the one number that would make you feel confident enough to retire, not comfortable, not certain, just confident, what would that number be? Drop it in the comments below. No right answer. No judgment. Just the number. And if you found this useful, the next video covers the 5 mistakes people make in the first 3 years of retirement. They are not the mistakes you expect.